In other business news, the upward trajectory experienced in the average salaries over recent months has slowed down. According to the latest BankservAfrica take-home pay index, a 1.7% drop has been recorded in October. This brings the figure down to 16,895 rand. Independent economist Elize Kruger speaks to us now. Thank you so much for your time, Elize. This is a marginal drop, but what led to the decline, though?
Yes, indeed. Just a marginal drop in the BankservAfrica take-home pay index in October. And it's basically masking the fact that we've seen an increase in the number of salaries paid in excess of about 100,000. But those extra salaries were actually in a low-income bracket, lower than 6,000 per month. And that has suppressed the average as we work it out from the BankservAfrica data. So although a marginal decline, actually not a negative number in the month, because if you look at it slightly longer term, we are still seeing salaries at very good levels in 2024.
That's encouraging. What then is the near-term outlook as we see inflation easing, the second interest rate cut starting to filter in, hopefully in the near term by the festive season?
Yes, indeed. I think quite a few tailwinds at the moment, for consumer spending. So the one side, definitely the fact that inflation is moderating notably. Our latest headline number at 2.8% is really the lowest in a couple of years. And what it really tells us is there's more purchasing power coming from the fact that your salary increase is higher than the average inflation. So you can manage to just get a bit further with every rand in your pocket compared to especially the previous 3 years. And if you then add to that the fact that we've had fuel price relief, we've got interest rate cuts now to the extent of 50 basis points lower in the past 3 months. So that is all adding, I think, to the ability for consumers to spend a bit more in the current, Black November month and also into the festive season.
Lastly, in future projections, are South Africans expected to start seeing the average pay go higher maybe in the new year? And what would that dictate?
Yes, I do think that we can see the current positive trend prevailing into 2025, especially given my expectation that economic growth will be higher next year compared to this year. So that will just, also talks to the fact that companies would be better off in the sense that they will make more profit, hopefully in a strong economic environment, and that will enable them to pay better salaries and also to retain, the valuable workforce, especially in terms of skills and so on. So I do think we can see this trend prevailing, and also with inflation still well under control and expected to remain around our midpoint of the target band or even lower next year, you could expect to see another year of a positive real increase in take-home pay. And that will be positive for the economy as a whole. It will just enable households to spend somewhat more next year.
Thank you, as always, for your contribution. Elize Kruger is an independent economist talking us through that slight decline in take-home pay.